Welcome in, Renegades. And there is no way this is happening on the internet computer, ICP. The future of blockchain is more than just IoT. It's more than just DeFi. It is real world tangible products, real world assets, if you may. And it's going to be on Web3. It's going to bring every traditional company. I've been talking about this on my channel for years. And that's what's kind of funny about this, is because this is the new internet, right? It is the new way that you can conduct business. And so we have these projects that are starting to emerge in the space, like a state DAO that is doing vacation rentals. We have just so many real world tangible stuff. OGY, where they're connecting NFTs to jewelry. Then we have Gold DAO, which is tying gold to NFTs as well. So now we're going to be live with Fuel DAO, which is a ride-sharing company, which, if you understand, I actually work for Uber Eats and DoorDash, which this isn't the same thing, but it's along those same kind of lines. Imagine like a DoorDash on the internet computer, but Fuel DAO is doing rideshare. It's a lot, you could consider it like an Uber type deal, or like transportation, like if you get a ride share from like the bus company, you get in a van and like go places. So it's something along those lines. We're going to find out more about that. I'm actually interested to see exactly how that ride sharing works. But we are live here today with two amazing gentlemen. We have Javi here, which he's been on the channel before with ICP Hub Canada and US. And we have Utkarsh, which is brand new to the channel. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you, Javi, for coming back. Just kind of with you first, Utkarsh, since you're new, introduce yourself, kind of tell us a little bit about you, kind of how you decided to build your project on ICP, and anything else you want to say.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for having us, over here and allowing us to share, what we're doing at FuelDAO. Really glad and excited to be on the, on the show. So I have been an entrepreneur for some time now. Before this, I am a through and through finance guy. Worked as an investment banker for a year and a half after I did my management degree. Obviously, was not happy with my corporate job, thinking of why not do something on my own, make a dent in the world. So jumped on board the entrepreneurial bandwagon in 2018. Start off, this is kind of my fourth venture till date. So sold one, shut one down in the COVID pandemic, working on another, and this is the second. This is another parallel one that I'm working right now. Now, so this idea of Fuel DAO basically originated from our third co-founder, who's KB, who's not here today, unfortunately, because of some commitments. So he was the one who came up with this idea of why not, get ride sharing on blockchain, because he himself got stuck somewhere. So from what I know, he was in one of the cities in India, and he took a Uber to the airport. And imagine his surprise, when his shock, or rather, when he sat down in the car and the driver cancelled right in front of him because the fare was too low. So he was already in the cab, the driver cancelled, he got out of the cab, got a new cab, and then went to wherever he was supposed to go. Wow. So that is where he came up with this thing that why not have something on where we can have a little more little less control over the centralized authorities like Uber and everything over there, because again, the problem was not the driver, the problem was a little deeper than that. So that's what he figured out. And when he approached me.
Can I just say something about that real quick? So if you have it decentralized, right, and it's a smart contract, then you both would agree on the price. The driver and the passenger would agree on the price beforehand, so you don't get into the car and then boom, now your ride's canceled, right?
Right. No, I think the bigger problem over there is when you look at these companies like Uber or Cabify or Grab or any of that, right? The bigger problem is, for example, Uber, right? So they enter a market, they offer like fantastic discounts and fantastic commissions to the drivers just to gain the market share. And then as they gain the market share now, because there's a lot of pressure from the investors and shareholders, they start squeezing those commissions very quickly, right? So, for example, let's take the example of one of the drivers that I met in India. So this guy was earning, let's say, $1,000 per month in India. When he started off, when he started off in 2017 or 18, and now he was down to $500. In just 5 years, he was down to half of his income that he was getting from Uber. So he was practically riding a cab or driving his cab for like 18 hours a day just to break even, and to meet his expenses, to pay for the cab, and then make some. So the problem is there, right? The centralized entities, the objective is to make profit. The primary objective is to make profit, and for that they'll do anything and everything. And the easiest link to squeeze out is the passengers and the drivers. They'll charge you higher as a passenger and they'll pay you lower as a driver, right? Trying to basically maximize their commissions or their revenues in between, and that is where it becomes a problem. So that is where again the concept of a DAO really, really helps, because at the end of the day, a DAO is not working for profit. The only thing the DAO needs is enough to sustain the operations, and that's pretty much it. Rest everything can be passed over to the community or to the other stakeholders. That is where it makes a huge, huge difference.
I love that, and it makes it so where the community can kind of set rates like that. And as an Uber driver myself, the same exact thing happened to me. Like when I first started, like they would give me the best trips, and then it got down to like they were literally giving me $3.75 for me to go to a store, wait for them to cook the food, and then park and go like deliver the food. Sometimes it takes 20 minutes for $3. But now in Seattle, there's like an earning standard, so we make more than anybody else because a law was passed. But unless a law is passed, these centralized authorities aren't going to do anything. They're all about profit, like you said. So it's up to us. And so this law that passed, right? Imagine being able to do that on the blockchain. So if you don't like how much money you're making, or the community thinks the drivers are making too much, or the people are being charged too much, the passengers, then you can vote and have that changed, right? So it's the same kind of thing, except on Web3, and you have more control, because a vote in a legislation is going to take a lot more people to pass the vote, right? And there's a lot of more people that have different ideals than you that are going to be voting. And with Web3, you kind of have people that are mainly on the same page.
Right. So that is exactly what happened, right? So when KB came up to me and we're discussing this, and I was like, why don't you build an internet computer? Because I'm already a part of the project that is building an internet computer. So I'm one of the co-founders at Viral as well. So I'm here with the FuelDAO team as an advisory role, helping them set up the initial base and everything. So since I was already have an experience of building an IC, I was like, why don't you come over here? Let's very quickly do this. Extrapolated the entire thing into the community-led thing. Connected him with Javier, and because again, Javier is somebody who's really, really deep in the ecosystem, knows a hell lot of things about how IC works, has crazy amount of network across the ecosystem, I'm sure. And that is how we got the ball rolling. So yeah, over to you, Javier. I'm sure you need
one more question. What's the other project that you worked on IC?
I'm working with Viral as well. So the main project that I'm working with is
Hot or not.
Viral, whatsoever you can call it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Cool. All right, Javi, welcome back to the channel, man. It was kind of like I knew you were part of this project. I heard that somewhere, but like I wasn't expecting you on the video today. And like Javi's just sitting there waiting. That's cool. Just go ahead and tell people what you're up to, maybe your role at Fuel DAO, because the channel kind of knows you, but you can introduce yourself for new people as well.
Yeah, of course. But before, I want to share one story that happens to me in Ethereum Denver. Is similar that the story that we discussed. Normally, at least the Hilton hotel that we were in ETH Denver, if we go through the event, to the venue, it costs like $15-20, right? Okay. And I remember it was like one experience, exactly the first day of the conference. It was like rush hours, right? And when I just like entered in Uber to rent the car, it saw like $85. The cheapest one, $90, 100 something. It's like, man, yesterday I paid $15, $20 to go to to the venue, also to go to the airport, more or less similar, a little bit more expensive, but more or less similar. Now it's like by 6, by 7 the price. That's crazy. Okay, I know like it was like offer demand, right? But it is something like as well, like the centralized companies that doing here and investors, of course. And there is like a, different approach here, right? Decentralization is totally different, but man, I was totally shocked. Like, okay, I have to pay now $90. Okay, in that case, maybe I have to share the drive, right? And share with other members of the Affinity or the ICP hubs, right? And pay a little bit less fair, but it's just a simple example that how it works in the reality. And I'm not the only one, for sure. People know these stories. And yeah, now thank you so much. I'm going to introduce myself. First of all, Jeff, Bitcoin Renegade, thank you so much for doing these spaces. You are like a real OG member from the ICP ecosystem, and always is a pleasure to be here. And yeah, I'm Javier. I'm originally from Spain, work in the financial industry, banks and investments, similar to Utkar's, similar backgrounds. I work in traditional banking as a risk analyst, control and compliance departments in Spanish banks and also in Canadian banks. I moved to Canada in 2019 and joined also the Internet Computer Ecosystem or the Definity Foundation. In 2022, end of 2021, in the special projects team, working to spread the word and create awareness about internet computer, about blockchain, and helping them, different departments in finance, marketing, and doing a lot of stuff. And then, yeah, last year, more or less a year ago or year and a half ago, we start the ICP Hub network. This is a very, very amazing initiative taken care by the Definity Foundation, led by Emilio Canessa and Sashi. And the idea is we have 25 ICP hubs across the globe in different locations, different geographies. And yeah, it's going really, really well. And now in the ICP Hub Canada and the US, we have also our incubator as well. We are doing a lot of events, education programs, and super happy with this. And then, of course, I have like entrepreneurial mindset. I know I always go further and start a new initiative, new activities. And yeah, I have an amazing relation with Utkar's. Long time ago, we meet us in Vancouver, almost 3 years ago, even before Hot or Not. I know you remember, Jeff, but it calls Go Bazinga before. Go Bazinga,
yeah.
Hot or Not, viral. I met Utkar's when it calls Go Bazinga and in Vancouver, and we discussed how we can, increase the ecosystem and have more people involved in internet computer in North America. And then, yeah, he introduced me to KB and he showed me the idea. And for sure, this is amazing. Just I remember Utkar's mentioned me and also KB is like, Javier, imagine if we can see the internet computer logo in our cars, like
bro,
in Madrid or Barcelona or whatever city.
Kind of like the lifting like in the car that glows, or like the Uber thing. Oh, bro, with the internet computer logo.
Yeah. Promoting, the ecosystem and the protocol, and it was like, man, yeah, this is a game changer for sure. I'm down. Of course, there are difficulties. Real world assets is not simple. We have a lot of bureaucracy. We have a lot of legal aspects, governments to deal, like license, and other stuff. But definitely, blockchain and decentralization is something like we are totally, down, and we want to support these initiatives. And we see a lot of different things that we can improve the current businesses, right? These Ubers and centralized companies. We have a lot of different aspects that we can improve and be better compared with them. And yeah, that's more or less my intro. Again, thank you so much, and happy to discuss more about the Fuel DAO.
So, can I ask you what your role is at Fuel DAO?
Yeah, I'm Fuel DAO. To be honest, the idea here is, be a DAO from the day, not for the first day, and I'm part of the founding team. I'm basically working in more in the communication side, marketing side as well, but also in the not legal aspects, but more in connections, right? Because the idea is to start in Spain. Utcars is in my city now. Utcars is in Madrid.
Oh, nice.
And the idea is to start in Spain. Not sure if probably Madrid, or we have other options. It's Malaga, Valencia as well. And it's a strategic reason why choose Madrid or why choose Spain. There are a lot of different aspects and advantages that we choose Madrid. But basically, my role is, because I speak Spanish, I'm originally from Madrid, of course, and it's better for me. I have a lot of connections in Spain, and this is my role. Basically, I'm part of the founding team, but more in the communication side. I'm not a technical guy. I'm more like a super connector, I think, and that's my role here, basically.
I love it, man. So now let's get into some questions about this now. So we've talked about the ride sharing aspect, and thank you for clarifying that for me, and what that is. So it's going to be kind of like an Uber thing. So Uber also has this thing. Before I had a car, I looked into basically leasing a car from Uber and then paying it off with driving. I saw that on your website you guys are doing like leasing. And is that the same type of deal where you would lease and then drive to pay it off, or is it more like you're just leasing a car?
So we're looking at multiple options for to be very honest. We're not just looking at a ride sharing or Uber like ride sharing model. We're looking at actually all the alternatives. So something like a Hertz or an Avis, wherein you have cars, you lease them out to people who want to use it for, let's say, 24 hours, 48 hours, 7 days, 5 days, whatever it is. You
Okay.
drive it around, get it back to you, and they're done. That is one model. The Uber ride sharing is another model wherein you pick up a fleet, you deploy it on the roads of a city as an Uber or whatever, and then people who have invested in that network basically get dividends out of it. Then there can be this thing wherein so there's this company in Vancouver and Victoria wherein it's called Evo. What they do is you pick up a car from anywhere in the city. You use an app, pick up a car from anywhere in the city, drive it for like half an hour, go wherever you have to go, point A to B, and you drop the car at point B. That's it. Your role is done. Right. So there are multiple business models as far as the ride sharing is concerned that we're looking at implementing. However, the idea in the beginning is to start small, figure out the operations, and that is where as Javier said, we're going to start off with a city in Spain, so maybe Madrid or Malaga or Valencia, wherever is the most suitable. So we're going to start off with the basic rental or leasing model, wherein we'll have a fleet of like 10, 15 cars. People can book that car for a day, 2, 8 hours, 6 hours, whatever it is. Pick up a car from a particular location, drive it around, and then drop it back at the location itself. So again, the idea there is to start small, figure out and iron out all the operational challenges that we will face. Despite no matter how much we plan, we are bound to face some challenges. This would also give us some time, or a lot of time actually, to figure out the legalities and the regulation side of things, because again we're dealing with real world assets and crypto. It's kind of you're moving between two worlds like this, and this is one area that will tend to have a lot of regulations, because a lot of cities are kind of trying to regulate this space of ride sharing. As you rightly said, cities like Seattle and everything, they've come up with the law as well as to the minimum pricing that has to be there, or the minimum earnings that the driver has to get. We're in touch with the best lawyers across Europe who are helping us establish this business and figure out how do we navigate the regulatory minefield, so to say. So that starting off small is going to help us on both the ends, figure out the regulatory part of it, figure out the operational part of it, and then once we have a playbook in place, bring all of that together and scale up as quickly as possible. Not in terms of just the geographical scale up, but also in terms of business models, scale up very quickly. So moving away from moving additionally into ride sharing, into Evo model, we can go wherever we want to as we scale up. So the idea here is to primarily focus on sustainable business, sustainable cars. So that is where exactly we've decided consciously that we're going to have like 80-85% of our fleet is going to be Teslas only, Tesla Model 3. It provides us with operational efficiency, plus we are significantly environmental friendly, plus the customers find it easy because they only have one type of cars to drive. So a win-win situation for everybody. And then obviously we're going to find customers who are those, hardcore petrol heads who want to drive those petrol cars. They want that the sound of a Mustang and whatnot, going through that sound of the engine. So for that, we're going to reserve some 15-20% of our fleet for petrols, for high-end luxury petrol cars, for that hardcore petrol heads who want to drive around, those roaring petrol engines or diesel engines on the streets of a city. So yeah, that's what the idea is, around how do we basically take this up as a project.
Okay, and so is it going to be NFTs that are tied to the car, or is it just? And also, you do have a token, right? Or you're going
Yes,
to?
yes,
So you
yes,
do
yes.
have a token now.
Yes.
Okay,
We're going to
and
launch a token with the SNS sale, which is called Fuel Token. Yes.
so it isn't out yet, though. You do have a
No,
token.
it's not out yet. It's not out
Yeah,
yet.
okay, that's what I thought. So I want to ask. So when we use this app, like say I go on, I book a ride. Do I pay with Fuel DAO tokens, ICP?
So okay, let's I think take a couple of steps back, break down the entire platform into everything, and then I think it'll be easier for everybody to understand and put everything in place. So there are three parts to the platform. There are going to be three parts to the platform. The first part is where we're talking about people coming in and investing in either a network in the city. So you can invest, let's say, in the entire network in Madrid city, or you can invest in specific vehicles, right? Now, when you're investing in the network, whatever income is generated from that network, minus the operational expenses, whatever remains, we distribute it to the people who have invested. So you get that as dividends.
So
That
what do
is
you mean invest in the network for the SNS sale?
no, beyond the SNS sale. The SNS sale is just to kickstart the project and everything. Beyond the SNS sale,
Can
let's
you
say,
explain that a little bit? Because I'm not understanding what you
okay,
mean invest in the
okay,
network.
let me break it down into, I think let me just try and break it down. This is fun. Okay, so there are two parts to the project, two sides to the project. On one side, you have the users who are going to use the network, use the cars, ride sharing and whatnot, just like the regular Ubers and Hertz of the world. That part of the platform is simple, right? So we have a platform, we have cars, we have a platform where people can come book those cars and drive it around and leave it back. That is one part of the platform.
Okay.
The other part of the platform is, think of it this way: as somebody who has some excess money and I want to, let's say, invest or put up my money in an Uber, but that's not enough to put up or to buy an entire car, or I don't want to take that risk, I'll be able to come on to FuelDAO, invest in a particular vehicle, not the entire
Yeah.
amount,
Okay. I'm
tokenize
sorry.
that
Yeah.
vehicle, right? So let's say the platform or FuelDAO basically buys a Tesla. We tokenize that Tesla into, let's say, 10 parts, and now 10 different people can invest in that Tesla. The Tesla generates revenue on itself. Whatever is generated is distributed among those investors as dividends.
Okay.
Now,
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Instead of a Tesla, this can also be an entire network within a city.
Okay. Sorry,
Right?
I guess I skipped ahead without meaning to on that one, but that explains it pretty well. So basically, you have the platform that you can use, and then you can also invest in the people that are using the platform to drive,
Right.
or the
Yeah.
vehicle specifically. Well, whoever
Right.
uses that vehicle, not necessarily the person.
Right.
That's pretty cool, man. I think that's a good business
This is
model.
also this is also in our roadmap in the first 6 months. Basically, it's the DAO membership NFTs, right? Fuel DAO, we will issue DAO membership NFTs that the users can purchase and access to these ride sharing services, and also become co-owners of the vehicles, right? And this is of the vehicles fleet, and this is here what is the magic, right? These NFTs can grant holders like voting rights, revenue sharing opportunities, and other membership benefits, right? And here is also like we want to reward not only the investors or the people that has these NFTs and become co-owners of the vehicle, right? We want also like to reward the users, right? It's not the same if you use the car one time per month that if you use every single day, right? Or it's not the same you as a driver if you only want to drive in downtown, or maybe you have to go, okay, these areas from this particular city, there are a lot of demand, but people don't want to go there because it's maybe outside the town and you have to go 1 hour and coming. And this is always like we have an algorithm to reward also these people that use more the application, and also like different areas and locations that in some points it's like, okay, this is a red area, now I can get more money here, right? And this is something like is going to change depending the hours, depending also the demand and supply.
Yeah, kind of like a hot zone. So there'll be like hot zones in there. That's cool. That business model, actually, it's kind of funny. I was talking to this guy ICPCC, and he built a ride sharing app just on Web 2. And I was like, bro, you should come build it on Web 3, man. And I was like trying to onboard him. And actually, I gave you his information, Hobby. That's fun. That's funny. But I was telling him about also a payment gateway system. That he was thinking about building on ICP. But that's a good model. I think, it can be scaled.
So that is where exactly, this bifurcation comes into play. The ownership is going to be through NFTs, FuelDAO NFTs, which is going to grant you those ownership rights and, benefits that come along with it. Now, the question that you asked, right, as a user, as somebody who's actually accessing the ride, how do I pay? So you'll have flexibility to pay in whatever currency you want. We are going to enable fiat payments as well, in addition to crypto, because the idea is to build a platform which is a solution for not just Web3 users, but Web2 users as well. Now, when you're trying to get Web2 users on the platform, you have to incorporate fiat, because a lot of them are not aware of crypto. Even when we talk about crypto, right, we are going to enable, all types of payments, ICP, fuel tokens, all CKBTC, CKETH, CKUSDC, whatever best we can do, enable all types of ICRC1 tokens. So the idea is to give the user as much flexibility as possible in terms of payments. Obviously, if you're using fuel tokens, you do get an advantage. So for example, let's say you take a ride, it is costing you $10 if you pay by ICP, for example. If you use fuel tokens, you get a straight 10% off, and now you have to pay only $9 worth of fuel tokens. So those kind of advantages of using fuel tokens are there, but that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to pay through using other currencies.
I love it. I love that. That's a smart idea. So when is this SNS launch? Are you guys expecting it soon?
Yeah, very soon. Very soon.
Yeah. We will expect the SNS in the next weeks. We already do the announcement in the forum, in the Definitive Forum. And why, right? Why SNS at this stage? And basically, FuelDAO is a community-first approach. We want to operate as a community organization, right? To increase or foster the growth in an organic way, and only dedicated to the community members. We don't want to go through VC process or investors that maybe can take the advantage to be, like more than 50% of the tokens or all this stuff. The idea is like be totally decentralized from the day one, and a community-centric philosophy. It's super important for us, right? That's why we want to be part of this SNS DAO from the first day, and not wait until get other foundings or other investors putting money in the project.
Yeah, the SNS framework has really been a vital role in ICP in kind of taking these projects and raising them to the next level. One, you get capital. Two, you get the SNS framework, which is very important to become a DAO and to really become a community-focused project. And that's what I love about Web3. That's why I think that, Uber is going to be like taxi cabs in 5 years. It's all they're going to be still around probably, but it's going to be Web3. It's going to be, blockchain. It's going to be this new internet built on ICP. So
absolutely.
I can't wait to see, this launch and everything. I'm going to participate if I can, for sure.
And also, the community, again, community is not like merely users, right? Community is part owner of the platform, right? And this is important to stand out, that we don't have founders or co-founders. If you see the white paper, the title of founders or co-founders is not there. We are like founding team, similar to other people. This all the people that participate in the SNS sale is an integral part of the founding team, right? And this is the idea. It's like community-centric philosophy, community-first approach, and not VCs, not investors, and of course ICP brings the best tools and is the best platform to do that, to do this, right? The SNS DAO, how it works, it's really amazing, and the way that people like submit their proposals and try to improve the platform, give us feedback. This is super important for us from day one. Of course, we start, maybe in the airport doing this rental cars, something pretty basic, and then see like learning and see like what is the aspects that we can improve. And that's why community is so important for us, right? Listening us, see like their feedback, how we can improve and develop our platform, expand to another communities, another regions, how it works, the cards and all these things is only possible if we have a community support, right? And that's why from day one, this is our approach.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a pretty big research and development plan going in. I'm not sure if you learned that from Definity, because they have one of the biggest research and development departments in all of crypto. So that's a very good skill to learn, is to kind of, and that's what I have to do on my YouTube channel. I've been on here for years, and you always just have to get feedback. You have to look at what you're doing, make adjustments. Sometimes you have to start completely, with a new plan. So those are the kind of fun things that can happen. And let's get into a question or two here from the audience. So it's only launching in Madrid, or it's starting to right away, but do you think one day, whoops, it's okay. Sorry, having problems here. Is Fuel DAO only build for India? I think he means, is it going to build in India or for global businesses after Madrid?
I'll take it up, I think. So, as we're going to start off with Spain, as I said, the idea is to start off small, but then once we have a playbook in place, we figure out all the operational things and everything. The idea is to scale up pretty quickly. So I think just within the next 6 to 8 months, you might find us in multiple cities across Europe, and then expand out to Asia, North America, and everywhere across the world. Because the idea is to build a global business. It is not to restrict ourselves to one particular geography. Again, the path that you want to follow is start small, figure out everything, get yourself established in one place, build strong foundations, and then scale up quickly as possible. So yeah, it's going to be a global business, just to answer this question specifically.
Yeah, so you guys are following a lot of the business models. We've had a lot of different projects on the channel, and there's one common denominator in all of those, and it's building in the EU, building in Europe first, because the regulations there are so much easier. Now, I wouldn't even say they're better, they're just easier to navigate. They're easier to start like a venture like this and then expand from there afterwards, because it's easier to get compliance in Europe. So I think that's why you guys are doing that. But that's a good question, Amar. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, on top of that, I would like to add a few things as well, right? Because as you mentioned, Jeff, regulatory and legal challenges are there, right? And we need to find first a city or a country that is pretty friendly in blockchain first, right? In decentralization. And then in all of these licensing, compliance, labor problems, insurances, and all this stuff, right? And we choose basically Spain because they are pretty open. It's one of the biggest countries in the world in terms of tourism. We have a lot of, for example, the nomad visa that now is so famous there in Spain. A lot of people from north of Europe, a lot of people from South America, because we don't have like a language barrier in Spain with South America. Also, a lot of people from Asia, North America are coming now to Spain. And Madrid is one of the best, cities to start. In general, we have like not a lot, but a few companies in car sharing there. And we have experience now how it works, these type of businesses. But again, the problems are there, and it's not easy to start, maybe in countries as North America now that with blockchain is a little bit restricted, or maybe India or other countries. The idea is like, spread the Fuel DAO across the globe in all the cities possible. But for sure, first we need to dive in these regulatory, industries. Also the traditional taxi industry in some countries, the taxis are like a lobbies, and they are not accept this type of businesses. Also infrastructure as well, logistics, right? The idea is like have a fleet of Teslas and try to be the most green possible. But it also takes like some effort, this logistical coordination, urban infrastructure, regulations, and other stuff. And that's why we think European Union, and specifically Spain, because it's also really well connected with Europe and also with South America, is a good place to start.
I agree, and it's kind of interesting to see this kind of project that's going to lead the way, because I haven't seen like any other blockchains with this type of project, and I know you guys are also doing scooters. Is like electric scooters? That's a huge thing here in Seattle. Like right outside my door. Like if I walk outside my building, there's a scooter right there. So, and I see people use them all the time. I think that is going to be an easier market for regulatory and all of that stuff. I think that's an easy market to tap. But you guys don't care if it's easy, right? You just have an idea and you're going for it. I love that. But tell us, I want to know, because scooters are huge. What are you guys doing with scooters? And is that big in Madrid?
Yeah, scooters will be something that is in our roadmap. We are now focusing in cars for sure, and this is one of the ways that we want to expand the business, right? In scooters for sure, because it's so famous now. But first we need to focus on the cars. That's the goal. Go to Teslas and maybe get like the first 10 or 15 fleet of Teslas running in Madrid. The idea is like have a base in the airport in Barajas, in Madrid airport, and then start with these rental cars, and then move to another business models also similar to Uber, and then start to have fleet of other different type of cars, also scooters as well. But basically in the software it works exactly the same, right? At the end of the day, cars is the most complex thing. If we can achieve all this and run smoothly these car rentals and sharing cars, scooters will be much easier. And then also you mentioned, Jeff, we are one of the best businesses that are trying to do this, but we are not the first. I know in Vienna, in Austria, there is a company, it calls Eloop, ELOOP, that is doing something similar and pretty successfully, right? And we, in some way, we inspire on Eloop project to start something pretty similar, but even better because it's in the blockchain, in the internet computer protocol. And then there is another project, it's called Drive. I think they are in India. It's more like a ride-hailing thing in related with taxis. But yeah, we are not the first, right? Always when you are the first, it's good, but it's scary, right? And but in that case, we know like the market is ready to this type of businesses, and Madrid for sure, and Europe in that case more. But yeah, we are maybe the third or the fourth ones, and the first in ICP for sure.
Yeah. That's news to me. That because I kind of was looking for other projects like that, and I never saw them. So a loop, or you said a loop, Eloop?
Yeah, Eloop, ELOOP. Okay. They are now running in Austria, in Vienna, and I'm not sure if in other cities as well. And then there is another project, maybe more like the Decentralized track taxi. It calls Drive, DRIFE. I think they are operated in Dubai, in India, and more in the Asia part.
Okay. It says the N and S is down. I doubt that. Someone's saying the N and S is down. It can't go down. It's probably your computer, bro. So let me just ask some more questions. We have probably about 10 minutes left. Are there any strategic partnerships that you guys are planning? Or am I not supposed to ask that? But yeah, that would be cool to know if you guys are like planning on partnering with any of the other projects in the ecosystem. I know, Javi, you're obviously part of ICP Hub North America, Canada, US now. But what do you guys plan to do to make a presence in the ecosystem with Fuel DAO? I know you've approached me, you've approached other people. I've seen people tweeting out your stuff. So just kind of tell us your goal and plan with partnerships.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, we are partnering with third parties, not outside the ICP ecosystem, right? I mean the fleet management software, because this is also important. You know, all the CRMs, bills, you know, all the compliance, all the things related with insurances. We are now in conversations with like Verithon, for example, Samsara, Omnitrax, Geotab. Is like the biggest companies that manage fleets software. And of course, this is important because we are like blockchain, and decentralization is important for us. But also, you know, comply all these regulatory and things related with data, and maintain privacy of the clients and KYCs and anti-money laundering. All this stuff, for sure, we need the support of like a third parties. And we are talking with these fleet management software um, companies. And then from the ecosystem, for sure, you know, like Jeff, ICP is like a big family, right? Maybe we are not the biggest ecosystem so far. Maybe in the future, yes. So far, not. But we have a strong community, right? And of course, yeah, we are partnering with a lot of companies. First, of course, more content creators and influencers, because at the end of the day, we need to spread the word first. And we are, for example, participating today here. Also, we did another AMA with CryptoAids. The idea is, of course, continuing doing these AMAs. And then in the future, of course, you see the possibilities of have cars across the cities, right? Not only like have the ICP logo in the cars, but also like we will do a lot of partnerships, you know, with different projects on ICP that users, when entering the car, can scan QR codes and maybe can see a campaign running in what is the name? Oh, I forgot. The crowdfunding company in ICP. Oh man. Anyway, so Founded, exactly. Oh my God, yeah. Apologize. Yeah, you know, like maybe some campaigns on Founded, or maybe other campaigns that people, yeah, Founded, exactly, right? Or even like support social media platforms as well. For example, the Estate DAO, right? Estate DAO is pretty like a concept like similar to Airbnb, right? Why not have these cars in the properties of Estate DAO, for example, right? That people can rent the cars, go to these apartments, and then rent the cars to go to the city or go to the airport or whatever, right? Or social media platforms as well, right? Like some open chat, of course, you know, or viral, hot or not, or other platforms that we can do a lot of different offers, a lot of different airdrops, discounts for the community to showcase the different projects on the ecosystem as well, right?
I love that, because it's all about our tight-knit community here, because it's like building a house. You can't just build a house without a foundation. If you try to build a house without a foundation, it's going to last about 6 months, right? Because as soon as the first wind hits, it's done. And so that's the crazy part about ICP, is we have this really super tight-knit community, and we all support one another without like, oh, you got to pay me $1,000 just to do this. Like, it's nice to help each other, but to expect like every, you know, it's just crazy how so supportive people are in the community. Like, if I have a post I need to retweet, like anybody I ask in the community, be like, yeah, sure. You know, I don't ask a lot, but I think ICP has the most tight-knit community out there. Like you said, it's not the biggest, but I think other blockchains are starting to notice ICP. I've seen some Solana people, which is kind of crazy, like getting interested in ICP because of the CK Solana. You said that you're going to integrate possibly other tokens. Now, do you just mean on ICP? Or are you talking like, oh, they can use the internet computer to pay with like CK Bitcoin, or Solana or any other chain, or is it all going to be through the integration of the internet computer?
So we're going to start off with the ICRC1 tokens because that is going to be the easiest thing to integrate. FuelDAO token, Fuel token in itself is going to be an ICRC1 token. So it's just going to be a matter of plug and play for us as far as the other tokens are concerned. Moving out of the ICP ecosystem is there on the cards, is there on the roadmap, but it's going to take some time. We'll have to wait for some, particularly the Rosetta API to come in and allow us to basically connect with other exchanges and everything to deal with ICRC tokens outside, the ecosystem as well. So that is going to take some time, but yes, that is on the cards. We're going to. The idea is again, the idea is not to get restricted within the Web3 community or within the ICP IC ecosystem only. The idea is to spread ourselves as wide as possible and enable that integration of more and more people coming on board from the Web2 ecosystem to the Web3 ecosystem, right?
I think that's very important because, like you said, if you can get them to pay with their regular card, maybe one day once they start learning more about crypto, then they're already familiar with the service, right? They use the service, they're familiar with it, and people love stuff they're familiar with. People don't like change very much, and that's why blockchain is so difficult. Like certain people love it, but as a masses of people, it's hard to get people to change.
See, the idea is fairly simple, Jeff. You have to understand that the barriers to entry for anybody entering the ecosystem or for anybody entering the platform has to be as low as possible.
Yes.
Right. And then this goes with, this is where I think IC really, really puts us in an advantageous situation. For example, let's say you have to access a DApp on Ethereum. You have to create a MetaMask wallet, fund it with Ethereum, and then maybe as a third step or as a fourth step, you get to access the DApp. In IC, it's as simple as logging in using a Google login, right? So you just click on use an internet identity. Not only does it create an internet identity or identity anchor, it creates a wallet that is integrated with that. Those kind of things, right? IC really, really puts you in an advantageous situation as a project wherein you're trying to onboard as many Web2 users on the platform as possible as well. So it's a learning curve for everybody, right? So first, the idea is to get the users to use the platform and then maybe get them converted to Web3 users going forward. If we throw everything at once on them, they're just going to get scared and run away.
I can attest to that. I was trying to help my friend buy ICP the other day, and he ran into 900 barriers, and finally he tapped out, bro. He tapped out like 5 times, and I got him back 4 times. I was like, bro, it's nothing worthwhile is easy. And so that barrier for entry, man, if it would just be a little bit lower, because people have short attention spans and are super busy. So if I'm taking an Uber somewhere, I don't want to spend an hour getting ready trying to figure out what I need to do to get this Uber. So if I can just log in, use my debit card, pay for this service, get in the car and go, I'm down. And I think most people would be too.
Yeah.
This is, I think, one of the major reasons why, if you look at even ourselves, for example, even if I look at myself, how many of us have Web3 apps on our phone that we use on a day-to-day service? Practically none.
Very few. I have like 1 on my phone, I think.
Practically none, right? The reason is that as developers, we have to understand that our experience of using a Web3 app has to be at least at par with the Web2 alternatives, if not better. Because ultimately, the end user does not care whether you are hosted on AWS, ICP, or the moon. What they care about is their experience. How easy is the app use? How easy it is to use that platform? Are they able to do what they want to get done within like 1 or 2 clicks? If not, as you rightly said, they have short attention spans. They'll not care. They'll just move out.
Right. What were you going to say, Holly?
No. That's totally true, right? And then, of course, we allow these payments like in fiat with a debit card, credit card, but also we incentivize, payments in ICP or in Fuel tokens, right? Because as we discussed before, the idea is like have some discounts or offers for people that pay directly in ICP tokens. But of course, we need to like, if we want to do like mass adoption and be everywhere, we have to allow these fiat payments to pay as well, of course, right? But we need to incentivize using ICP, using Fuel DAO, and using the tokens of the internet computer ecosystem, right? CKBTC or CKETH, or maybe in the future Solana or other ones, right? But that's the main goal here, of course. Yeah.
Man, that just gave me an idea for my project. I'm like, dang, we're gonna need, like, if I want to scale my project, we're gonna need a fiat gateway, that we can integrate into our system. So I think that's super important. I think you guys are going to be kind of leaders in going forward, because we're still so early on ICP. Like, you guys pioneer the way. Like you said, you were part of the original Hot or Not. Even Go Bazinga, you were probably part of that at the beginning. And Javi, you've been around here since the beginning too. So you guys are going to lead the way. And if anybody to trust in a project, it's going to be a DAO, so you don't really have to trust anybody. But the people behind it still are going to matter. And these guys are great. So I support your project 100%. I think my community does as well. But is it ever expected that I can put my logo Renegade bike advertisement soon on Fuel DAO?
We'll be happy to do that. We'll be more than happy to do that.
Oh, that would be cool. Just look by and see like ICP Renegades driving by.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It will be these opportunities in the future, of course. Yeah. At the end of the
Are
day,
you-
this is like a mobile advertisement, right? Across the cities all the time. It's circulating cars all the time, and we can have also like sponsor cars or different options,
cool.
right, for the ecosystem, or showcase the different logos or of the projects as well, or influencers, OGs, or yeah, of course, there are a lot of possibilities. It's infinite possibilities here. That's why it blew my mind when Utkars and KB told me about like create something like this. And this is also important, right? Because if you are new in the ecosystem, people maybe can think, okay, these guys just want to go through the SNS, do like get money and do like a rock pool or whatever, right? But when you like see like, okay, these guys, who is the founders here? Okay, it's like or the advisors or the funding teams. It's like people that are working so hard during the last 3-4 years to get the mass adoption of internet computer, to grow the ecosystem, right? To grow the protocol. And I think this is so super important as well, for sure. Have the credibility to like, okay, who is behind the scenes, who is working on this hard, right? To make the things happen. And yeah, that's also important for us, right? Like showcase, okay, we are here. Always we are supporting the ecosystem, and we are not going to move to any other ecosystem or any other blockchain. We will continue working so hard. And as you know, Jeff, the roadmap of internet computer in the white paper, and also Dominic showed a few times, is 2040, right? We are in 2024. We have 16 years more to continue building this amazing ecosystem. And we are super proud to try to do this new business in internet computer, for sure.
Yeah, and this is the place to do it. I kind of stumbled on an ICP not knowing like the tech was so amazing, and then that's why I stayed. Like, I originally just started to invest, and then as soon as Dominic Williams started talking about like multi-chain and the capabilities of the SNS framework and the NNS, just those things are going to bring like super nerdy tech guys to ICP, and then those are the guys who are going to build. And then once it's built, then people will, you build it, they will come, right? So it says projects like this are key to ICP success. We need to be able to earn and spend ICP on real world goods and services instead of having to move back into dollars. This would be an awesome service to have. So it would be cool if you could just not even worry about dollars, like us that are already Web3, that we could just, take our Fuel DAO token, say we participate in the SNS sale, we take a vacation to Madrid. We're there as a tourist because, like you said, it's the biggest tourist spot, one of the biggest ones in the world. And so now I can just take those SNS tokens. Maybe I just go to Madrid just to ride share over there. Who knows? But then I can take those tokens, and it's easy for us to be able to just log into our internet identity, pay with the tokens, and go. So all the problem is, it isn't that your project is going to be hard to onboard people from Web 2 to Web 3. That's a crypto-wide problem. That isn't like an ICP problem. That isn't a Fuel DAO problem. That is a Web 3 problem, because people who are already in Web 3, like I said, it's going to take me 2 seconds to navigate that because I already know what I'm doing. I already have my identity. Right. So I can't wait to see what you guys do in like 10 years. You know, this kind of service is really needed. And like you said, if you do, you know, because some people are more about discounts than convenience, like me. I'm a coupon shopper. And so if I can get a discount on a ride to use ICP or Fuel DAO, I'm definitely going to take advantage of that. So you guys have the key to success: onboarding Web 2, just regular Uber, you know, passengers that are moving over to decentralization. And you have us, the OGs, the Web 3, the nerds, the people that love crypto. So keep doing what you're doing. I hope to have you back in like a year, maybe a year and a half or something, or whatever, you know, your project starts to really do well, and just kind of show the community the support that you've received.
Yeah, and also another point here is we have the best technology, and we are trying to be the greenest one, right? With the proof of green and all these things, transparency. That's why we are trying also to be super eco-friendly. At least 80% of our fleet will be in Teslas or electric cars, right? And the best ones. It's like, okay, we have the best technology and we are trying to be the greenest ones. Let's exactly replicate the same in real world assets. What is the best car now that you can have, you know, in the cities? At least Tesla is one of the best, right? And it's like, let's go through electric cars as well and try to be like the greenest one, right? Maybe it's not, if it's not Tesla, it will be something similar, but this is
well, everybody wants to drive a Tesla. Coming from somebody who's never drove a Tesla, I want to drive a Tesla. So,
so whenever we launch our first first set of cars in Madrid, we'll give you a shout out. Why don't you fly down to Madrid and be among the first people to drive around in a Fuel DAO car?
Bro, I'm gonna have to, because next year I hope they have a 4th year anniversary, because I didn't have my passport in time. I was trying to get it because I wanted to go to Zurich for the 3rd anniversary. So hopefully next year, and then if I'm in Zurich, I might as well just fly over to Spain real quick, you know.
No. So. Might as well be that we are there in Zurich by the time it's time for the 4th anniversary next year.
Yeah, and then we could do a video. I could come to your house. And we could do a live video there. Maybe even in the car. We could do it on the phone, just like, yeah, Fuel DAO. I have ICP Renegade logo on the car too, with the Fuel DAO logo next to it. That'd be so cool.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, I think we're going to call it a day. Thank you guys for coming on. It was a pleasure. I've learned a lot more about the project now. Everybody go give these guys a follow. I put all of their link trees in the description below. Smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't for more content. All right, guys, that being said, goodbye. And good ICP. Bang!
Bye, guys. Thank you.